ஹாய் ஹலோ காய்ஸ் how are you all? நியூஸ் ரியாக்ட் முக்கியமாக இப்போ மகாராஷ்டிராவில் ஒரு விஷயம் நடந்திருக்கு. இப்போ நீங்கள் மேக்ஸிமம் நீங்கள் லாங்குவேஜ் அப்போசிஷன் இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களே எங்கே பார்ப்பீங்கன்னா கேரளா, தமிழ்நாடு, வெஸ்ட் பெங்கால், கர்நாடகா இங்கெல்லாம் நீங்கள் கேள்விப்படுவீங்க. ஃபார் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் மகாராஷ்டிரியன்ஸே ஃபீல் பண்ணுறாங்க, என்ன இங்கே ஹிந்தி இம்போஸ் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, எங்கள் மராத்தி தான் எங்கள் ஃபஸ்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் அவங்க பேச வச்சுருக்காங்க. அதுக்கு காரணம் அங்கே இருக்க சூப்பரான பிஜேபி லெட் கவர்மெண்ட் தான், கோவேஷன் கவர்மெண்ட், பட் ஸ்டில் பிஜேபி லெட். நாங்கள் அடுத்த வீடியோக்கு போவோம், சட்டு புட்டுன்னு போவோமா? In India today, Preeti. வாங்க next.
The language storm raging in the south has touched western shores. Hindi imposition row has spread from the south to the west. Amidst the language row in Tamil Nadu, Hindi made compulsory in Maharashtra. Yes, you heard it right, not optional but mandatory in Maharashtra.
Cool.
The Maharashtra government has made Hindi a compulsory third language from standard 1 to 5 in both Marathi and English medium schools in the state, as per the national education policy. Currently, only Marathi and English are being taught as mandatory languages from 1st to the 4th in these schools.
जो नई शिक्षा नीति है उसको हम पहले से लागू कर रहे हैं, ये कोई नया नोटिफिकेशन नहीं है. शिक्षा नीति में हमारा ये प्रयास है कि सबको मराठी भी आनी चाहिए और साथ साथ अपने देश की भाषा जो है वो भाषाएं भी आनी चाहिए. जो केंद्र सरकार ने विचार किया कि हमारे देश में एक संपर्क भाषा होनी चाहिए, उस दृष्टि से ये प्रयास किया गया है.
In what seems to be a controversial move which will have both social and political ramifications, Hindi in Maharashtra will now not be optional but mandatory.
भाषा को विवाद ये दो स्तर पे मैं देखता हूँ. पहले तो एक राजनीतिक स्तर पे देखता हूँ. जिन दो लोगों की मीटिंग हुई, दोनों को जरूरत है, शायद भाजपा को भी जरूरत है कहीं ना कहीं पुनर्जन्म की, राजकीय पुनर्जन्म की. तो कोई 21 भाषा का विषय ले, मुंबई के बीएमसी में चला दे, कोई हिंदी का विषय ले, कोई मराठी का विषय बीएमसी में चलाए, कोई हिंदी का विषय बिहार में चलाए, अपनी अपनी रोटी सेके जब तक हम लड़ते रहे.
A lot of commentary politics has been swirling around the three-language policy. The three-language formula in the National Education Policy 2020 recommends that students learn 3 languages, at least 2 of which must be native to India. The formula applies to both government and private schools, giving states the flexibility to choose language without any imposition. The key word here has been without imposition, something which the government has gone to lengths to defend, suggesting the DMK government has only been whipping up imaginary Hindi imposition hysteria.
NEP is not recommending imposition of any language on the respective students of the state. That means in no way NEP is recommending imposition of Hindi in Tamil Nadu. This misinformation, this falsehood should not be spread from the responsible persons.
With now the imposition in Maharashtra, the DMK has found fresh ammunition to attract the government with. Those who once argued that Hindi would not be imposed as a third language and that students could choose to learn any Indian language they wished, have now made Hindi a compulsory subject up to class 5 in Maharashtra. The so-called national education policy is nothing but a facade to push Hindi imposition, said the DMK. While in Maharashtra, the move has fanned the fires of hyper-regionalism. The MNS put up provocative posters in Dadar. The posters catching the attention of locals and sparking debate across political circles read, "Hum Hindu hain, lekin Hindi nahi," which translates, "We are Hindus but not Hindi." The imposition might just be in Maharashtra. The ramifications, though, will be national and political. Top focus onto the point this evening.
All right, so at the back of it, the questions that we asked this evening: Hindi imposition, real fear or fear-mongering now? Because we are still now, one would have believed that...
பிரீத்தி, இன்னுமா நீங்கள் ஃபியர் மாங்கரிங் நம்பிக்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்க? ஹிந்தி இம்போசிஷன் ரியல் ஃபியர் ஆர் ஃபியர் மாங்கரிங்? என்னமா கொஷின் அவுடேட்டடாக இருக்குது. ஸ்கிரிப்டே இன்னும் மாற்றலையாமா?
What the three-language policy says, that it's not imposition. But with Maharashtra imposing Hindi, that fear has been regenerated. Maharashtra, example of centre covertly pushing Hindi as a linked language. The Home Minister, the Education Minister has gone at lengths to say that we are not imposing Hindi at all. But you have a full state now which has outrightly, the Chief Minister has gone and said that the centre wants Hindi as a linked language, and we agree with that. The other question that we ask is Maharashtra decision now with what has happened, where Hindi imposition in Maharashtra, given direct fodder for South parties to say, we told you so, that this was always the plan of the government to use Hindi as a link language. Let's take these questions to our panelists this evening. We'll give all of them 2 minutes timer, and after that, your fader falls. We won't be able to hear you. Joining me this evening, Krishna Hegde, spokesperson Shiv Sena, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson BJP, Chitra Batham, national spokesperson Congress, Sushma Andhare, spokesperson Shiv Sena UBT.
ரொம்ப முக்கியமான பிரச்சனைங்க ராம்ப் அப் பண்ணுறோம்.
I'll begin with Sanju Verma, and the reason I am beginning with Sanju Verma is because Sanju Verma, I want you to hear one particular reaction, and I'm going to come right back. Let's listen into the Education Minister.
NEP is not recommending imposition of any language on the respective students of the state. That means, in no way, NEP is recommending imposition of Hindi in Tamil Nadu. This misinformation, this falsehood should not be spread from the responsible persons.
All right, so imposition was falsehood, was misinformation as per the Education Minister. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Sanju Verma, on record, I'm happy to play that reaction for you as well, but I'm sure you heard it in our lead-up story, has said directly that the centre wants a link language and we will impose Hindi. So now, it's out in the open. You're trying to covertly impose Hindi through the back door.
Has my timer started, Preeti?
Ma'am, yes, I'll give you 10 more seconds if you wish. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Preeti, first and foremost, let me state very clearly, Article 343 of the Constitution clearly says that Hindi in Devanagari script is the official language of the Indian Union. So Hindi हमारी राष्ट्र भाषा नहीं है, but Hindi हमारी राजभाषा जरूर है. Point number 1. Point number 2. Article 351 of the Constitution goes so far as saying that Hindi is the only language that can bind India and promote national identity despite our linguistic diversity, and it is incumbent upon the central government and all states to secure the enrichment of Hindi and promote Hindi as a medium of expression. So the third point is, by promoting Hindi, are we actually promoting what our constitutional ideals espouse? Most certainly yes, but now I will showcase the hypocrisy of the opposition. There is the Telangana Education Act of 1982, and now using that, just 2 months back, Revant Reddy passed a GR saying, henceforth from the next year, Class 9, whether you're in CBSE, ICSE or IB affiliated schools, Telugu is compulsory. Karnataka Learning Act of 2015, the Sivaramaya government has said right from class 1 to class 10, all CBSE and ICSE affiliated schools will have Kannada as one of the mandatory languages right from class.
தத்தி ஐயோ ஏம்மா மகாராஷ்டிராவில் மராத்தி அவங்க ரீஜனல் லாங்குவேஜ், ஒவ்வொரு லாங்குவேஜ் பேசுகிறது தான் ஸ்டேட்டே பிரித்தாங்க. அவங்கவுங்க லாங்குவேஜ் ஸ்டேட்டில் அவங்கவுங்க லாங்குவேஜ் தான் பிடிப்பாங்க. தமிழ்நாட்டில் சிபிஎஸ்சியில் கூட தமிழ் டீச்சர்ஸ் தேர்ட் லாங்குவேஜ் ஆப்ஷன் லாங்குவேஜாக கொடுக்குறதுக்கு இல்லையே தான் எல்லாம் பேசிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். அவங்க ஸ்டேட்டில் அவங்கவுங்க லாங்குவேஜ் தான் பிடிப்பாங்க. மகாராஷ்டிராவில் மராட்டி படிக்கும்போதுமா ஹிந்தி படிக்கணும்.
Class 1 to class 10. Then let's talk about the Tamil Nadu Learning Act of 2006, wherein DMK's M.K. Stalin has said right from class 1 to class 10, all CBSE affiliated schools in Tamil Nadu have to mandatorily promote Tamil as one of the languages. यहाँ पर हमने सिर्फ कहा है from class 1 to class 5 Hindi is mandatory, और देखिए भूचाल मच गया है. That is why I said the devil is in the details. From 1 to class 5, if Hindi is mandatory, why the brouhaha?
Preeti சிரிக்கிறாங்க.
Ma'am, I'll tell you why the brouhaha, and I'll come back to you, I'll circle back to you. The brouhaha is because at length the Education Minister, the Home Minister, has gone on record to say we are never imposing. There is no imposition. And choose what you want to study. That's why the brouhaha. And I'll circle back to you because the same article you quoted of the Constitution also says English is also the official language along with Hindi. As per the new NEP 2020, English is a foreign language.
Preeti,
English
don't
is
say
a...
half-baked truth.
Ma'am,
For
I'm just
15
saying English
years
was
from
an
the
official...
inception of the Constitution, you read only part of the sentence.
All I'm
For
saying is...
15 years.
All,
For
ma'am,
15 years.
hear me out. All I'm saying is English is also is also the official language. As per
Why
the
do you
same
have a
article.
problem with Hindi, Preeti?
I have no problem with Hindi, ma'am.
क्या दिक्कत है?
இப்போ கொலைப்பாங்க பாரு, லொல்லோடு கொலைச்சிட்டு இருக்கும் பாரு.
Ma'am, ये क्या- as per
Why
the
do you
same
have a problem with Hindi, Preeti?
I have no
क्या
problem with
problem
Hindi,
है
ma'am.
आपका? क्या दिक्कत है?
Ma'am,
क्या
ये
दिक्कत है?
चैनल अंग्रेजी है तो हिंदी, यहाँ पर हिंदी नहीं है because this channel is English. So
हिंदी
we
के
try
साथ
and
क्या
talk in
दिक्कत
Hindi.
है आपको? Preeti,
Ma'am,
क्या दिक्कत है हिंदी
ma'am,
से?
I have no problem with, ma'am, now you're now unnecessarily your fader is going to go down. This is not a conversation between you and I. I want to go to Chitra Batham, national spokesperson Congress. Chitra Batham, it's very clear. Let's say that yes, they want Hindi, which is the centre wants Hindi as a link language, so everyone has a language they can communicate with. But ultimately, education is a state subject. Chitra Batham, you don't need to impose Hindi. Maharashtra has decided they want to impose Hindi as in the 3-language policy. Wherever you have a government, don't impose Hindi. DMK doesn't need to impose Hindi.
Preeti, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead, ma'am. Your time started.
Preeti, as we know that today Maharashtra is being ruled by such a chief minister who does not take pride in being Marathi himself. Marathi language is the identity and culture of the Maharashtra people, and it is moreover the legacy of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. By imposing Hindi from class 1 to 4, we are actually the
1
government
to
is
5,
trying.
ma'am. Let me correct you. 1 to 5, I hate coming in, but 1 to 5.
Yeah, from 1 to 5, the BJP government is trying to make a lot of teachers jobless, and it is jeopardizing the Marathi culture and the Marathi identity. So over here, we are completely against this particular act of imposition of Hindi. We do not have, the people of Maharashtra do not have any issues with Hindi speaking people or the Hindi language per se. But this sort of an imposition completely devoids of the respect that the regional languages also must get. So over here, I must tell you that to promote fake unity, the BJP government is jeopardizing the real diversity of India, and they are not completely in favor of the regional languages itself. So it is very sad to note that the Mahayuti government must impose such a CBSE standards into the state boards, and also do away with the state boards, the SSC boards over here in Maharashtra. So this is completely to undermine what Maharashtra has so far offered in terms of intellectuality, and this is to impose Hindi and to take away the identity and the culture of Marathi speaking people. I must also tell you over here that a few days back, the education minister over here in Maharashtra had said that the CBSE curriculum will be imposed in these state-run schools over here, which were already being done on the SSC.
Ma'am, time is up. I will come back to you, and I did give 10 seconds extra to Sanju Verma. Next time I'll give you that 10 seconds extra. Krishna Hegde, I want to bring you back into this conversation. Krishna Hegde, word has it, BMC elections are coming up. The Eknath Shinde party, Shiv Sena, wants to ally with the Raj Thackeray party, MNS, and today posters across Maharashtra are splattered where MNS says Hindu hai par Hindi nahi.
See, Raj Thakkre's MNS is an offshoot of the Shiv Sena, so we cannot deny that. He was always with us from the beginning. He was our leader as well. Secondly, Shiv Sena was founded to fight, for the rights of the Marathi Manus, and therefore the Shiv Sena stance is very clear. Anyone living in Maharashtra should know Marathi, speak Marathi, and learn Marathi. That is, there are no two ways about it. They have to do that. Marathi is the Rajya Bhasha. Marathi is the language in which the government paperwork runs. It is the official language for us, and therefore we are only following the National Education Policy 2020, which clearly
Imposition is not a part of that policy, sir. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, let me tell you, and this is not only for Maharashtra, this is for all states across India. And
but Maharashtra has imposed Hindi till 5th standard. There's a difference.
No, I tell you. See, today the Maharashtrian youth is extremely educated. He's not only working in Mumbai and Maharashtra, but he's working all over, India. He's working all over the globe. And therefore, to work all across India, there is a requirement to learn Hindi. There is also a requirement if he is working in India and overseas to also know a bit of English, because that will help his business, that will help his trade, that will help him prosper. And therefore, learning another language is not an issue. The issue is if you are going to substitute Marathi with Hindi or English, which we are not doing. Marathi is a priority for us. Marathi has always been a priority for us, and we stand by Maharashtrians. We stand by the language. And over that, let me tell you that even with the agitation, Mr. Raj Thakkare had called off his agitation, and now the Congress person, she did not even know what she was talking about. She should make the Congress stand very clear what they want. Are they for this or are they for not? They cannot have a haphazard view on languages. And Marathi for us, as I said, is a priority.
All right, okay. Sushma Andhare, the fact is, with what you heard Mr. Hegde, Marathi is a priority, will always be a priority. What is wrong if you have a linked language where youth of Maharashtra can go and communicate in the north as well for work opportunities? So allow them to learn another language, but nobody's saying Marathi is not a priority.
Here is in Maharashtra, Noora Kushti is going on in between BJP and Maharashtra Navnirman Sena. I'm not, I don't want to go in that Noora Kushti, but I want to put something. In 1953, our government, at that time's government, established a linguistic state commission. Fazal Ali was the president of that commission. In 1955, they reported to government that we have to accept triple language formula. First language should be the mother tongue of that state. Second should be the, what can we say, a communicative language. And third one, you can choose any other language like English, French, Russian, whatever. In our academic, language formula is in our academic, the academic subject is in a common list subject. And if common list is located, then how can we say that only central government will decide about our linguistic formula if our communicative science or pediatrician, all people, kid psychologist, all people are saying that 2 to 8, this is the age period. This age period is the very good period for children to adopt any kind of language. तो ये कैसे हो सकता है कि एक ही लैंग्वेज एक बार कोई सीख सकता है, और यह सारे लोगों ने अब प्रूव कर लिया है, लेकिन फिर भी जिस तरह से बीजेपी हिंदी, हिंदू, हिंदुस्तान एक लाइन में लाना चाहती है, यानी कि जो हिंदू बोलेगा वही राष्ट्रभक्त कहलाएगा और जो मराठी बोलेगा वो राष्ट्रभक्त नहीं कहलाएगा। ये धीरे धीरे जो स्लो पॉइजनिंग किया जा रहा है, या एक तरह से रीजनल पार्टीज को डिस्ट्रॉय करने का जो षड्यंत्र किया जा रहा है।
टाइम अप है। I'll come back. I'm going to give all our panelists one minute each. Once again, Sanju Verma, I will begin with you and I'll come back to the question. My producer has just told me that we have 3 debates of Sanju Verma where she has spoken for 2 minutes each on how Hindi is not going to be imposed. And the same thing was said,
This is what journalism should do, guys. They should call out. என்னென்ன வந்து பேசுறீங்க, at least they should make them accountable. குறைஞ்சபட்சம் இதாச்சும் பண்ணீங்களே.
I will begin with you and I'll come back to the question. My producer has just told me that we have 3 debates of Sanju Verma where she has spoken for 2 minutes each on how Hindi is not going to be imposed. And the same thing was said, by the education minister, by the home minister. So now what has happened, Sanju Verma, is because DM can say, we told you so, that they are just saying this. They will impose it ultimately.
Preeti, this is for you, and very humbly and respectfully to your producers, but more importantly to your audience. I have a great memory and I maintain there is no Hindi imposition. If you are saying that by having Hindi as one of the languages merely from class 1 to class 5 is Hindi imposition, then by that logic,
ஐயோ லாஜிக்ல தீய வைக்கங்கிற மாதிரியே இருக்கு. கைஸ் இது ஒரு காமெடி ஷோ கூட இல்லை கைஸ், இது ஒரு பிரெயின் ராட் ஷோ இருக்கு கைஸ். நியூஸ் தான் இன்ஃபர்மேட்டிவாக இருக்கணும், இந்த மாதிரி தற்கொலைக்கு உட்கார வச்சுட்டு அப்படியே பிரெயின் ராட் பண்ணக்கூடாது.
From class 1 to class 10 in Telangana is not Telugu imposition. Having Kannada as one of the compulsory languages in all CBSE and ICSE affiliated schools from class 1 to class 10. Have you ever said that Kannada is being mandatorily imposed in Karnataka? No. By having Tamil as one of the mandatory languages in all CBSE and ICSE affiliated schools in Tamil Nadu, have you ever said that Stalin is imposing Tamil? Nahi. क्लास 1 टू क्लास 10 तक तमिल कंपलसरी है तमिलनाडु में, क्लास 1 टू क्लास 10 तक कन्नड़ा कंपलसरी है कर्नाटका में, बट सिर्फ क्लास 1 से क्लास 5 तक हिंदी कंपलसरी कर दिया, तो देयर इज अ brouhaha. Why? This is not Hindi imposition.
Okay, ma'am, your time is up. I would have flipped it around and said that another thing that was said repeatedly is that there is going to be no linked language. It's not that we want to impose linked language. I have a problem. That was said repeatedly is that
கடிகார டைம் பாத்தீங்களா, பிரீத்தி ஃபேக்டா பிஸ்டல கடிகார ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க எல்லா பிஜேபி ஸ்போக்ஸ்பர்சன்ஸும்.
Okay, ma'am, your time is up. I would have flipped it around and said that another thing that was said repeatedly is that there is going to be no linked language. It's not that we want to impose linked language. Ma'am, I have no problem. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is BJP spokespersons have a problem with any journalist asking questions to them because they are
not. Finally, Preeti knows to speak. She stood up, guys. Preeti stood up. என்னடா ஷாக்கா இருக்கு.
I would have flipped it around and said that another thing that was said repeatedly is that there is going to be no linked language. It's not that we want to impose linked language. Ma'am, I have no problem. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is BJP spokespersons have a problem with any journalist asking questions to them because they're not used to it. That's the problem. Ma'am, I ask the toughest questions to everyone. But I'll tell you what the problem is. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is BJP spokespersons do not expect tough questions to be asked from them. But in India today that doesn't happen. Ma'am, I'm glad you're answering them. Exactly, I do. And you answer. I do. And you answer. That doesn't mean I have a problem. It's my job. That's my job.
You
so that doesn't
twist my comments every time.
Ma'am, all I'm saying is that means I have no problem. I have no problem with the BJP or the Congress. Ma'am, it's not a fight between you.
You made a factually wrong statement. Education is not a state subject, it's a concurrent subject. You made a factually wrong statement. Education is not in the state.
Okay, it's a concurrent subject, but the state has the power to decide to implement it or not.
You need to be abreast of the facts, Preeti.
Ma'am, I am abreast. You also need to be open to taking questions. Okay. Ma'am, the biggest fopper right now has been a government which has gone on record to say it's not going to impose a language and has imposed it. Ma'am, it's not a fight.
speaking.
Ma'am, I am abreast. You also need to be
Yeah, but then
open
don't
to
make
taking
some kind of
questions.
faux
What? Okay.
Don't
Ma'am,
make
the
a
biggest
faux
faux
pas on live
Ma'am,
TV.
the biggest faux pas right now has been
No,
a government which has gone on record to say it's not going to impose a language and has imposed it.
You
Ma'am,
have
instead of
to
saying
get a
1 minute
point.
each, I want to cut across to the Congress spokesperson, Chitra Batham. Go ahead, ma'am. 1 minute starts now.
Preeti, the funny point over here is that compulsory is not imposition. How can you say that? I mean, isn't it so obvious that making the language compulsory in the primary stages of education is basically trying to impose something? And also, they have talked about over here about the Telugu language and the Kannada language. Have the state governments made or imposed the Kannada language or the Telugu language on any other states or even in the neighboring states? No, they haven't done so. So why such an exception for Hindi? Hindi, anyways, would be taught in the other in the higher standards. So my question over here is, what is the point that you're going to derive out of teaching or imposing the respective language onto those small minds on students from class 1 to 5? How is it really going to impact them? Anything that is culturally accepted is welcome, but Hindi
All right, ma'am,
as
the
a
time is
whole
up.
thing is
1
not
minute
accepted
to
in
Krishna
most
Hegde.
countries.
Krishna Hegde, final submission, sir. 1 minute begins now.
Preeti, I must tell you, as I reiterate again, that Marathi is a priority for us. 30 years ago, people said, do not get into information technology.
உஷாராயிட்டேன். எதை பற்றியும் வேணாம், நம்ம அலையன்ஸே மாற்ற போகிறோம். ஒன்று சொல்லுவோம், நாங்கள் மராட்டியன்ஸ், நாங்கள் மகாராஷ்டிராக்கு தான் ப்ரிஃபரன்ஸ் கொடுக்குறோம், மராத்திக்கு தான் ப்ரிஃபரன்ஸ் கொடுக்குறோம்.
Marathi is a priority for us. 30 years ago, people said, do not get into information technology. And today, India is a superpower.
யாரா சொன்ன அட்வான்ஸ் கிரெடிட் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் டெக்னாலஜின்னு? ஐடி இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணது எங்கள் ஊரில் இருந்தாண்டா. உங்கள் ஊரில் யாரா ஐடி படிக்க வரேன்னு சொன்னது? சங்கி சொன்னாங்களா?
As I reiterate again, that Marathi is a priority for us. 30 years ago, people said, do not get into information technology. And today, India is a superpower in information technology. We are ruling the Silicon Valley. Similarly, in the present generation, we have artificial intelligence. Tomorrow, someone will say, don't get into artificial intelligence. So that is the future of the world. We need to get into that. So if our Maharashtrian youth can learn Hindi, learn English, and prosper across the country and across the world, I think it is a very fair thing. We should give them a chance. However, still reinstating that Marathi is a priority for us in the Shiv Sena and in Maharashtra, along with the Bharatiya Janata Party. और सुषमा जी said, उसको ही बात में कोई तत्व नहीं है कि अगर हिंदी है तो हिंदू है और हिंदू है तो देशभक्त है. ऐसा जो उन्होंने कहा, इसमें कोई तत्व नहीं है. What we want to say is, do not mix nationalism with Hindi. Give Hindi a chance. Respect all languages. Respect all religions.
Sir, your time is up. Sushma Andhare, 1 minute starts now, ma'am.
उम्मीद करती हूँ कि मैं बात करते समय बीजेपी स्पोक पर्सन थोड़ा तो बिहेवियर अपना मेंटेन करेंगी. और यह फिर एक बार कहना चाहूंगी कि यहाँ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की अगर कॉमन लिस्ट में शिक्षा का टॉपिक आता है और उसमें साफ साफ नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में कहा है कि आपको फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज आपकी मदर टंग आप रख सकते हो. यहाँ पर कहा जाता है कि हम वहाँ इम्पोज नहीं कर रहे, हम किसी तरह की सख्ती नहीं कर रहे. अरे आप सख्ती ही कर रहे हो, लेकिन क्योंकि फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज अगर आप सख्ती करोगे तो फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज हिंदी हो जाएगी और हिंदी कोई ऐसी बड़ी लैंग्वेज है नहीं. माफ कीजिए, ये समझ लीजिए कि हिंदी इस देश के सिर्फ 8 स्टेट में बोली जाती है, जबकि यहाँ के कम से कम 78% से ज्यादा लोग हिंदी से अलग भाषा बोलते हैं. लेकिन फिर भी गवर्नमेंट यह चाहती है, क्योंकि बिहार इलेक्शन है और मुंबई में जो हिंदी का टक्का बड़ा है, उसमें अब नगर निगम के इलेक्शन में अगर हिंदी बिल के सारे वोट उनको इनकैश करने हैं तो उनको हिंदी कार्ड खेलना पड़ेगा और मन से उनके लिए हिंदी कार्ड खेलना.
That's all the time that we have for now. We need to close the bulletin. With what Sanju Verma says, what does a concurrent subject mean? That both state and center have the authority to make laws. If you go into the fine print of it, where education is concerned, the state weighs more heavily. But she's right. Both, even the center can weigh in. But on the other hand, the big question today has been, till now, the government has been very, very clear, adamant, that Hindi will never be imposed. We don't want or look at forcing a linked language. Having said that, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra has imposed Hindi from 1st to the 5th standard and has also said that he's adhering to what the centre has said on having a linked language. We leave it for our viewers to decide where they stand on it.
Finally, Preeti spoke up. She spoke. Hope you enjoyed it. கொஞ்சம் கிளாரிட்டி, கொஞ்சம் நியூஸு, கொஞ்சம் காமெடி, கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன் கலவரங்கள், அப்படி கொஞ்சம் கிளாரிட்டியோட ஹாப்பியாக இருந்திருப்போம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். I just tried something new. So if you like the content, you love what I'm doing, hit the like button. உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒப்பீனியனில் சஜஷன்ஸ் வச்சுன்னா கமெண்ட் செக்ஷனில் தெரியப்படுத்துங்க. அண்ட் இஃப் யூ வாண்ட் டு என்கரேஜ் சச் அப்கமிங் யூடியூபர்ஸ், ஹிட் த சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பட்டன். தட்ஸ் இட் ஃப்ரம் மை எண்ட். அவ்வளோதான், வேறு எதுவுமே இல்லை. உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னா பிடிச்சிருக்கு, ஏன் பிடிச்சிருக்குன்னு கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்கள். உங்களுக்கு இது செட் ஆகலை, இல்லை ப்ரோ என்ன ப்ரோ இது கொஞ்சம் நியூஸை பார்க்குறதா எப்படி ப்ரோ பார்க்குறது அப்படிங்கிறப்ப உங்களுக்கு அதாவது டிசன்ட் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதையும் கமெண்ட் செக்ஷன் தெரியப்படுத்துங்க. அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒப்பீனியனாக தெரிஞ்சு டேட்டா செட் கலெக்ட் பண்ணி வேறு எப்படி இந்த இன்னும் எங்கேஜாக அதை மாற்றலாங்கிறது நான் ஒரு அனாலிசிஸ் வரும். அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் ஆல் த லவ் அண்ட் சப்போர்ட். இத்துடன் முடித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். உங்களுக்கும் நன்றி, வணக்கம். See you in another stream. Peace out.